everybody, and welcome to the 17th edition of the Global Family Office Investment Summit, the Retosa Summit. And welcome on the Retosa TV to Thomas McMurrain, CEO of CMDx. Tom, welcome.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us. Tom, let's start from your self-introduction. Let's talk about the CMDx technology.
I'll be glad to. My name's Tom McMurrain. I'm the CEO and founder of CMDx. It's a company we started about 2.5 years ago, and the whole idea behind it was trying to help lift people out of poverty, trying to help improve people's health. And so we're using cryptocurrency as an incentive mechanism to get people to exercise, to purchase healthy products, to refer members. And so one of the really powerful use cases of cryptocurrency, of course, is the rewards category. And you know, with CMDX, you can go out there and you can walk a mile, or you can sleep 5 hours and you can get credited with cryptocurrency. And I like to tell people, if I could take you back to 2009 and say, hey, you could exercise and make $25 a month in Bitcoin, would you do it? Well, knowing what you know today, of course you would, because 1 month you'd be a millionaire. And so when we look at CMDX, the business model is actually very simple, but we are showing people how to take their health data, all this data that we're generating. It's called a privacy-first experience. And what we mean by that is you have to give us permission to use that data. And when you give us permission for that data, we actually reward you with tokens. So I guess we're one of the first companies that's actually taking your data and we're turning it into wealth for you. And truly, if you think about that, your data, health data, is probably worth $5,000 a year. So that's a lot of money for the average person. And we call that concept universal basic data income. Not universal basic income where we just give you money. You're actually doing something in exchange for it. So you're producing data, and all we're doing is using that data to serve up the search results, the types of products that you want. So that's really what CMDX is all about. We want you to get wealthy, getting healthy.
Yeah, that's very interesting because, of course, that was my second question, how to be wealthy in a healthy way. And Tom, in particular, which are the main industries you are looking at?
Well, I mean, the big one is health. I mean, when you look at cryptocurrency, that's one of the biggest industries in the world. But I do think that my model can go cross-industry. I think it can go into the airline industry. I mean, I'm still waiting for the first airline that comes out with cryptocurrency miles. You know, I would love for my Delta miles or my Emirate miles to go up in value like Bitcoin did. That would be really cool. But you know, I think as big corporations start seeing the ability to use cryptocurrency to incentivize human behavior, buying habits and things like that, I think you're going to see cryptocurrency as a very powerful motivational tool, especially when you look at the history of Bitcoin and Ethereum and all these tokens and the value they've created and the wealth they've created. It's truly amazing. But cryptocurrency is here to stay. Money is the killer app. You know, Bitcoin, when you look at the transfer of value, that is the killer app of blockchain technology, just as email was the killer app of the internet. So it's here, and it's just going to evolve from here.
Tom, you are the author of the Amazon best-selling The Sudden Disruption, The Rise of the Digital Currency Billionaires. So, in a very nutshell, what about the disruption, maybe the upcoming disruption, and do you see any other Goliath to be taken down?
Well, you know, when you look at blockchain, the quote that really got me on blockchain was, this technology will disrupt any industry that uses an intermediary to create trust between two parties. So that means the banking industry. I can send money to you without using a bank. That means the accounting industry. I can now use, and by the way, when you layer artificial intelligence on top of blockchain, you got a whole nother monster. You got actually something that can become smarter than human beings and actually start transacting itself. And so when we talk about disruption, the first book was The Disruption of the Billionaire. The new one is The Rise of Digital Currency Trillionaire, because billionaires have already been made in crypto. So we're moving to the next level. But to me, it's an $80 trillion disruption. But the travel industry, really a lot of the white collar jobs, the professional jobs, are the ones that are going to get disrupted more so than anything. And so I would urge people to don't ignore it, because it's going to change the landscape of business in the next 10 years. So it's really, and it's an incredible technology, and it's going to do a lot of good. It's going to lift people out of poverty, but at the same time, people better learn to adapt like they had to the internet.
Yeah, and Tom, you were talking about the next 10 years or maybe more. What's next for CMDX? Which are your main business development plans?
Well, you know, I think our main focus is like Jeff Bezos with Amazon. We want to acquire a lot of members. We want to build up that base, and you know, like Jeff started with books, we're starting with exercise. So the next level up may be a captive insurance company one day. You know, there's all kinds of turning your health data into NFTs. There's self-sovereign society, you know, individuals, self-sovereign individuals. You know, there's all kinds of models you can evolve from there. But the first thing we got to do is we got to build the user base, kind of like Jeff Bezos did, and then people will upgrade to Prime, and then, you know, and so on. And so we're, you know, where we're at right now, health data is very valuable, but there's a huge movement of people, actually 96% of people surveyed recently said they don't want their data shared across apps. They don't want that. And that was an Apple survey. So people are starting to pay more attention to their data, and this whole privacy first experience, people are going to actually say, hey, I get to decide what you do with my data, not you. Just because you're providing me a platform doesn't give you the right to use my data unless I give you permission to. Yeah. And the next step is they're going to say, hey, I want to be paid for my data. They're going to realize it's really valuable.
Yeah, very valuable asset. Tom, last question for you, because you say people are paying attention for data, but people are paying attention for Dubai, because here is, of course, the Expo 2020 going on, but also the Retos Summit. Which is your personal impression about Dubai on one end, and of course the Retos Summit on the other end?
Well, I guess the first impression you get of Dubai when you come in, everything's big, it's clean, it's new. You know, I have a guest here from Houston, Texas, and he said, I didn't see one piece of trash on the road. Not one. And you really don't. It's one of the cleanest, safest cities I've ever been to. And so I would encourage anybody who hasn't been here. Number one, it's beautiful. It's bigger than life. It has everything. But I tell you what, it's an international city. The 80% of the people here are immigrants from outside of the United Arab Emirates, and they do such a great job welcoming people here. And I think that's important. But what's even more important, they're light years ahead of the United States when it comes to creating manifestos as to how they're going to use this technology for good. The Hope satellite, you know, the safest, happiest city in the world. They have really great goals, and I don't think we're thinking that in the United States. It's like our cities are really becoming very tough, and here it's like, no, we just want to be safe and happy and have lots of hope. And there's lots of money here, and there's lots of people that are looking for investments. And I live in Atlanta, where we have a huge tech hub there with Georgia Tech there, and I would just encourage everybody in Atlanta to come here and pitch their deals here. You know, because there's people wanting deals here. I mean, they want the best deals, and we have great deals in Atlanta, Georgia with Georgia Tech there. So Georgia Tech, come on down to Dubai.
And your personal takeaway of the summit, of the Retos Summit?
You know, a lot of professionals here. There's a lot of money here. Everybody's very friendly. Everybody's very approachable. I did a pitch, and a lot of people came up to me and said, hey, really great job. I really loved your presentation. And there's a lot of vendors here, too, that I'm meeting that I'm able to go ask strategic questions about my business that they are specialties in these areas, and I can talk to them. And so I think it's important that when you come here, you're not just coming here for money, you're coming here for relationships. You're coming here for knowledge. And if you do that, I think you're going to get a lot more out of this event. But it's I call it the Davos of Dubai, if that's okay for me to say that. It's the Davos of Dubai. Yeah, but that's really what it is.
Very, very interesting, very insightful, and very visionary. Talking with Thomas McMurrain. Thomas, thank you very much, and enjoy the summit.
Thank you.
Thank you.